Uh, Hello, all. Welcome to Sunday Shorts. So, I welcome all my viewers tonight. And so, first of all, starting my session by paying my tribute to one of the finest actors of our generation, Sushant Singh Rajput, whom we lost today. Deeply saddened, and it came as a shock for everyone uh, in the noon. He was just 34 years old and was in peak of his career. By media report, it is coming that a depression was the reason behind the suicide. Um so I just wanted to discuss a bit about this anxiety and depression, which is actually it is estimated that almost half of the population suffers from depression at some stage throughout their life. So it is important we learn why we get down and then how we can change it, because believe it or not, we create our own negative feelings, and we can also ensure that we turn our lives around and be a positive change for others. The reason anyone gets depressed always come down to the consistent thoughts we think and the consistent beliefs we hold. So I just request all of you, so please don't give up. You are worthy. You are more than worthy. You deserve to experience how great life can be, and you owe it to the world to be that positive change for others, to inspire others who will look to you and say that he did it, she did it, and I can do it too. So this is for you all guys, and so let's start tonight's show, which is on the topic impact of COVID-19 on wedding industry. And to discuss that, I would like to invite my guest for tonight, Mr. Samit Garg. Hello, sir.
Hi, Namaskar. How are you?
Good, good, sir. And just to give you a short brief about Samit, sir, that Samit has crafted around 100 plus LT's, latest wedding experiences across 15 countries and 3 continents. The list is very long for him because he's the only guy in any of the venture he has started. Like Skywatch, it is the only balloon safari which is happening in India. Like E Factor, which holds the maximum number of these destination weddings and the elite kind of wedding 6 week experiences. He has just started his experience in the Meghalaya festival, then also the boat racing in Kerala. He also do some work with Rajasthan government for the Pushkar Mela. So I just wanted to welcome him to our show, and a bit discussion regarding the wedding industry, which is actually struggling these days. So as per the report published by KPMG, the Indian wedding industry was estimated to be around $50 billion in size, and with celebrities indulging in grand celebration while tying the knot, destination weddings have become the thing in India. Wedding across the globes have been put on hold for the time being, resulting in a domino effect thanks to the pandemic. Uh, Most weddings are expected to be pushed to the later half of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. Uh, the new normal for celebrating weddings in the post COVID-19 world is going to be different. And to discuss that, I have with me Mr. Samit Garg. So, sir, the first question to you is that what is your opinion on the impact of Corona on the wedding industry? Your thoughts?
Well, there is nothing different in terms of the thoughts that I have on this because what is, it is. And unfortunately, our industry or our business of wedding celebrations has been impacted the most, I would say. And I don't see I don't see it recovering anywhere before November. What's happening currently is just small celebrations of 25, 50 people, and वो भी महज जिम्मेदारियां हैं जो पूरी की जा रही हैं because a lot of the weddings have also been postponed, but which are not being postponed, which for certain reasons have to be done in the dates that have been prescribed, will be done and are being done in this particular manner. The comeback would probably start sometime in October if all goes well. Maybe the number in October is about 150 to 200 people. November hopefully should be about 300 to 350 people, and March is the time when we expect weddings of 500 to 800 people happening again. And if you're talking of the larger ones beyond that, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, I I can very comfortably say it's going to be the winters of 2021. So that's what is happening in terms of time frames. But you know, वक्त एक ऐसी चीज है जिसका हम कुछ बहुत डंके की चोट पे बोल नहीं सकते. So 3 months ago, nobody was thinking that today we are going to be sitting and talking about all of this and have a 90-day of experience timeline behind us. So many people today talk as if they're experts on the subject of COVID, while the shelf life of this is only 90 days. So I don't know how can anybody become an expert on COVID in such a short span of time. But you never know. Maybe if the vaccination is out the way some people in the world are talking about it by September, and if the production is multiplied in 4 or 5 different zones, you never know. October may be very different. So, this is time, and we are actually in no position to be able to talk very vehemently or confidently about what's going to happen because everything is very, very dynamic.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, I also want you to discuss a bit about depression and anxiety issues because we have just lost a gem today. Okay, if you can just give some thought of yours, okay, to the audience, that will be nice.
Now, please don't hold me to it because different people live life differently. और जो अंदर से थोड़े से मैं शायद थोड़ा ज्यादा ही optimistic. I'm a very very positive outlook individual, so I look at things in a very different manner. And because I am like that, I would urge and request everybody to be positive. Because life is something which revolves around one word which is constant every day for every individual, and that one word is hope. होप होती है तो जिंदगी में सब कुछ होता है और होप तभी होगी if there is anything positive in your mind here. If I'm looking at things in a negative manner, if I'm thinking about everything from a negative perspective, then I'm sure that there is absence of hope here, and without hope one doesn't really, you don't have anything to look forward to, and what will you live for if you don't have anything to look forward to? So as you also said in the beginning of this talk today, that it's imperative to have an outlook which is positive, which is looking forward. It helps, and that's my request. That's my urge to all of you. Depressions do happen, and they happen for different reasons. They happen at different stages and phases in life, but that's what human beings are all about. There are good times and there are bad times. When there are bad times, you need to kind of make sure that you're able to fight them well.
Absolutely right, sir. Absolutely right. So, what do you think are going to be the challenges, and what is going to be the new normal for weddings after this pandemic?
You know, people are talking of these two, three fancy words that have really come about. New normal, then the new pivot, then all this. I'm sorry, I'll be using. I find I don't relate. I, I I personally don't relate with all of this because there are certain things which are done in a particular manner. यार खाना तो आप अभी भी उसी तरीके से खाते हो जैसे खाते थे और खाना वही खाते हो. खाना खाने का तरीका नहीं बदला, खाने की रेसिपी नहीं बदली. These are all words, tongue twisters, go around it like this. Yes, the way of doing things in the immediate to medium term will change or has changed. But if you look at it from a long term perspective, look at it beyond 12 months, everything is going to be the same that it used to be 4 months ago. So I am not worried. Things are definitely impacted. Yes, it's going to create economic difficulties for people in the short to immediate term. There are many people, in the lower rung of the society, the financial society, which are very adversely affected, who unfortunately do not have cash runways to be able to sustain for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. परेशानियां हैं वहां पे ज्यादा है, but there's nothing lost. We've seen so many large format calamities in our lives, and मैं अपने जीवन काल में इतनी सारी देख चुका हूँ. So ठीक है, there is things unfortunately do happen, and that's what life is all about. But we will come back to where we were. It's just a matter of 12 months. That's my personal take on your question.
I think Amardeep, finally you got the network and you came here. Huh? Amardeep, can you hear us? Hello.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
very
yes.
much.
How are you doing
You are
today?
Yes,
looking
I can
lovely,
hear
huh?
you.
Yes. So I was just discussing with Samir sir about,
I'm
and he
very
was
good.
just
I'm very good, Sumit.
okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Sir, you have prepared something regarding this wedding presentation in Vedonomics, which you have said, okay? And it will be our pleasure if you can just go through it once, okay? I'm just sharing it on the screen for the viewers, okay? And they can have a look. So you can just give your thoughts about that. That is the economics, that Vedonomics, basically.
So, Vedonomics is some kind of a paper that I do for the wedding industry every year, and we kind of consolidated some information on this just about 4 or 5 weeks ago for one of our industry conclave talks, and to give you a perspective of the business of weddings on a global scale as far as India is concerned, the overall business of weddings globally is about $1043 billion, and India contributes about $31 billion out of this. And the current size of the Indian wedding business is that approximately 2,32,000 crores, which has been growing at about 17% over the last 4 years. And in these last 4 years, obviously 2020 has not been counted. These are numbers as of May 2019. Now, the immediate impact of COVID-19 on the business of weddings overall, when you look at the macroeconomic aspect, events have decreased by 60%. Catering has suffered by about 40%, jewelry by 18%, clothing by 27%. However, gifting has gone up by about 24%. So this is, and there's no rocket science in this. It's very, very clear that while money is not being spent on other places because celebrations are not happening, but whatever weddings are happening, parents are probably giving away that money as trousseau or gift in terms of movable or intangible property. Why that's why gifting as a number you can see go up. Uh, is everything okay?
Yes, everything is fine. We are clearly listening to you, whatever you're saying.
Yeah, okay. Then, this is an international document which was picked up from somewhere, and which is essentially the projected recovery at an economic level from a global point of view. And if you will realize, if you look at it closely, everything here is in red, and it's only very few parts of the world which are in green, where it's clearly shown that India and China are the two large countries which are going to be probably leading this recovery. Some noteworthy facts, with half of India's population being under 30 years of age, the marriage market will only grow over the next 5 to 10 years. Uh, the estimated cost of a wedding, no expenses spared in our country in the organized market could be anywhere between a lakh of rupees to about 50 crores. And on an average, this has been surveyed that an Indian spends about one-fifth of the accumulated wealth in lifetime on a wedding celebration. So corroborating all of these studies and analysis over the numbers that we have, where there's a population of 1.37 billion, considering an average family of 5 people, there are about 250 million families in India. One marriage per family every 20 years, the average comes to about 10 million weddings every year. Now, even if 0.25% of this business is handled by the organized sector in terms of events, you are talking of approximately 25,000 weddings every year being handled by wedding planners or event management companies or any other body doing business in the organized sector. So what lies ahead? Uh, what lies ahead is the fact that even if they spend an average of 100 lakhs per wedding, all across, we are talking of approximately 25,000 crores worth of business in the organized sector today in terms of events and related supplements. Considering a growth of about 15 to 20%, you'll have to discount 2020 out of this. Exhibited in the past few years, we're talking of an incremental business of about 5,000
Sir,
crores.
there is some slight issue from your side.
Please tell me.
Samit sir, there is an issue.
Tell me. Yes, please tell me. Yes, please tell me.
It seems fine to me, Suraj.
Okay.
Samit, please go ahead. Please go ahead. I think it's working fine now.
Okay. So, and then, these financial numbers then attribute to something in terms of the human capital. There is already a shortage of qualified manpower. You'll have to mute your, yes. So, if you can please mute yourself. I'm getting help here. So there is an oversupply of manpower, but there is lack of talent. Now, this is the scenario overall that exists in the business of events and entertainment today. There is a 17% shortfall of qualified and quality talent in the weddings business today. By Q3 of 2021, the shortfall may be about 21%. So, which essentially also means that as we move along, there is going to be a huge shortage, or I would say rather, some great demand of qualified professionals working in the business of entertainment and events, which thereby also indicates that people looking for some vocational pastimes in these scenarios when they are kind of stuck at home, not being able to find avenues to pass time, there are opportunities out there to learn. So this was my edition last month of the Vedonomics paper that we publish every 6 months, and has some relevant facts which I have shared with you.
This sounds great, Samit bhai. But I have a more generic question. Would weddings after this Corona crisis, would they be as fun as they used to be?
Probably even more.
Okay.
Probably even more. Because I'll tell you something. This is this is this is a necessity in our Indian culture. It is nothing that you are doing under force. It's something that we enjoy doing, and nobody forces us to do five functions. It's just that we do it because we like to do it. And celebrations or being happy is an integral part of our society, especially when you talk of this, because तो ये बदलेगा नहीं, and it's a temporary phase. And when I say probably even better, it's because now imagine it's so. What about you? When was the last party that you attended? Now a party could have been going out with friends to a bar lounge, could have been going out to a disc, just a dinner with family outside in a nice restaurant, or a holiday somewhere, or attending a wedding celebration. Everything is basically means of entertainment or keeping yourself happy or enjoying certain things going outside. अभी कितने दिन आप बंद हो? We will all come back with a bounce, and which is why I said what I said, that when it starts to happen, people used to do 3 days, they will probably say, yeah, chuck it, I will bloody add one more day because it's been so long that we've all been together. So, and don't be surprised, you'll actually see this happen. And we are in conversations with prospect families for February, where people have said to us that, ideally I would have wanted to do a 2-day getaway, I would now want to do a 3. Or I would have wanted to do a 3, I would want to do a 4-day. Because, come on, man. we need
to that's very encouraging to actually hear it coming from you. It's It's something which is the need of the hour. Um, what changes do you foresee which are going to happen in the format of wedding? Or do you see any permanent changes which will come in the format of Indian wedding?
No format will change on a permanent basis.
Also,
Everything.
there is a
I'll tell you
thing.
something.
There is a thing going on called digital weddings. What is your view on that? If you can just add
I
this
don't.
also.
I don't believe in digital weddings. Now tomorrow, will you believe in making babies digitally? You can't. Come on. I personally don't believe. You can't even have a cup of tea digitally. How can you celebrate a wedding digitally? Come on.
This is a
So,
children. This is a 6+ show. We cannot discuss that very.
all right. No. So I was. We were talking. Sorry. What was the question? I lost the plot.
So my question was that are there going to be any permanent changes in
No,
the format of wedding post Corona?
If you look at the world changes every 20 years. You know, the 1960s brought about how we travel when airlines and aircrafts of a certain size came into play, and the world started to all of a sudden become a smaller place. The 1980s was a revolution when communication started to change. And in the next 10 years, the communication system had changed drastically. The 9/11 in the year 2000 brought about a very drastic change in the way we look at security. You know, all hotels started to have these X-ray machines and gate check, bollard systems. So, it changed our lives. And COVID now in 2020 will again change our lives. Change our lives how? We will start respecting hygiene. I think that's the largest change that COVID will bring about, because our outlook somehow, for certain reasons, to health and hygiene and sanitation, at least in the world that I've been exposed to, wasn't that great. We used to take things for granted in that space. Look at the garbage collections that you see outside on roads and corners. अब इन सब चीजों को लेकर हम थोड़े से ज्यादा केयरफुल हो जाएंगे. So this is how I see our world change, and it's not only in the domain of an event; it is also in our day-to-day lives. I think our the respect that we give to hygiene and the cleanliness will definitely change, and that's the largest permanent change I think this is going to bring about.
No, I kind of agree. Sanitation, hygiene, I think that's a very, very valid point, which will change. But taking up on Surat's question, which he asked earlier, which was more on the concept of digital wedding, that people are marrying on these Zoom calls, and family being present and all that. What do you think of that? What do you think of that?
But there is a difference. Weddings are not digital. Sharing of those weddings is digital. You see,
Okay.
at the end of the day, what you're seeing on the street, Jula they are together in some particular place. So
Correct.
it's not that you are the wife of the friend or wife or I'm the husband. We are doing something like this. It does not happen like that. So the wedding is not digital.
Got you.
The sharing. Sorry, Suraj, you're saying something? You're muted, Suraj.
Just asking him to actually mute his mic because there was an echo. I don't know what is happening. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So it's not digital weddings. However, digital in terms of events is something which has started to kind of really catch the fancy of people. So where it's a hybrid version of a physical event and a digital event. So that's being now referred to as phygital. So as far as events outside of weddings are concerned, there is a lot of phygital work that is happening in the corporate or ATL BTL scenarios.
I had a take on this, a very interesting, kind of a take that now people for last 3 months are mostly living with their families. And somebody was asking me this thing, and when Suraj, had the honor of inviting you, was asking me this question. I was like, hey, Suraj, I feel that uh, relationships, particularly marriage, is going to be fundamentally more important in the post-COVID world, because this is one thing which is like, now you're stuck with your wife, with your kids, with your parents, and everyone is like a byproduct of the marriage itself. So when the relationships become so important, and that they are the only ones you can basically be in touch with, and kind of count upon, and as you said, that these are kind of things which you take for granted. All of a sudden that importance is highlighted. I feel that I used to kind of travel 100 days in a year, and now I'm locked up for last 100 days, and I feel that if these guys were not there in my life, what would I have done? And the entire meaning of life itself would have been lost. I feel that weddings will, in that sense, become far more important. What do you think of it, Samit? Because you're like an industry pro on this.
So I am not a pro on this because I am only married once, and I have been married. But no,
I just saw a comment from Manika, so I do not know what she has to say on that.
is she online?
She's very much online, I feel. She commented
Fantastic.
already. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
Just to sorry to interrupt, I'll just start taking questions because a lot of questions are coming. Okay, so just after you this comment now, because and I'll just
yeah, so
start.
there was a question that Akhil had sent. Akhil and I have known each other for a very long
Yes, yes,
time.
yes. Akhil has asked you something. Yes.
So, do you feel
Did
event industry used to
Signature.
you think hotels become so? I personally have a very positive and a very gung ho outlook, Akhil, as far as the hotels are concerned, and especially over the next 6 to 9 months, because everyone, as I said, is going to be first looking out for hygiene and safety security when it comes to sanitation. So hotels, and especially branded hotels, give us a lot of comfort on that accord because we know that they come with certain SOPs, they have brand equities and reputations to kind of safeguard. So we will, as consumers, have much more confidence that, yes, they would have followed systems, there is proper screening happening outside, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm talking of. You've been a hotelier most of your life. So I don't see hotels being threatened. On the contrary, I see that most of the wedding business, all the way until Q4 of this financial year, is going to be limited and restricted to hotel campuses. The other larger venues, difficult. If I've been able to answer that.
Here, one more question from Archana that October, November, and December are prime seasons for weddings.
So,
Please
Archana,
propose.
yeah, this is something which the industry is already facing, and there are two reasons. Uh, one is that about 5 to 700 weddings go outside of the country every year. Now, unfortunately, most of those weddings are not going outside of India. So it is that pressure plus the cancellation of the weddings in the month of May and June, and probably whatever will happen now in July, August. So all of that pressure is also coming to November, December. So most of the hotel properties which are pro wedding are already sold out for the November, December dates. And as it is this year in November, and December, the dates are also very limited. Apparently, they start on the 25th of November and finish off by the 10th or 11th of December. So the situation is very, very tight. If somebody has some great venues or some small hotel properties to offer, I think it's a fantastic business opportunity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also feel that smaller hotels now, which can be completely booked, and to up to 200, 300. I think they will have more business coming in rather than five-star hotels. But then, will the five-star hotels not compensate by their safety and hygiene procedures, which they're going to kind of bring in? I, I think both will have business.
No, but the question is the number of hotels is not increasing, no? You see, the demand is multiplying by 2x or 3x. The number of hotels is not increasing, so the inventory is the same. And on the contrary, a lot of these hotels will probably not even open.
I got you.
Only very big hotels, where the pockets are deep, that they will kind of start and resume functioning. Many others may probably decide that, boss, let it just get finished and we'll open next year. You don't know, because it's expensive to sustain. So there was a question before, Preeti, so I think we first do this. What more changes in events tourism policies do you suggest should take place in order for I honestly will not be able to comment on this, Preeti, just now, because although there is a regular dialogue happening at the senior ministerial levels when it comes to all of this, but we really don't know. But the one thing that I can positively and surely talk of is that domestic tourism is going to gradually start picking up come August, and whatever is the business that will happen in the tourism sector within the country, it is going to be 4 or 5x when it comes to the domestic tourism numbers or levels. So last year, the domestic tourism in the country was 100. This year, it will probably be 400 in terms of money spent. That's something that I'm very, very sure.
Got you. But do you think it opening by around winter this year, or do you think we should?
I see opening up in August. I see it start opening up in August, and November, December, so it's going to be fairly handsome. So, but when it starts to resume in August, I see holidays which are in a radius of about 300 kilometers around you. So you would not probably get into an aircraft or a train. You'll take your family in your car and in your own safe environment, and you'll probably go for a holiday, not checking into a block hotel, but probably something like an Airbnb or a nice cottage or hut outside some nice place to just chill and relax. The other thing which will also happen is that when now, at least in 2021, which is what the industry is also talking of, both nationally and internationally, the holidays will become more relaxed. There was a time when all of us used to run after itineraries. Okay, this is a 12-day SOTC itinerary. We are doing France today, Germany tomorrow, Holland the day after, blah, blah, blah. So, 10, 12 days, and you are ticking off 4 or 5 cities. All of those and such kinds of itineraries will now probably take a backseat, because people don't want to travel too much. And because travel is a painful exercise, at least for the next 10 to 12 months. So लोग अब ये चाहेंगे यार मैं एक जगह पहुंच जाऊं, and I want to kind of now settle there. So I will chill, enjoy my time, and not go about place to place. So that is one change, at least for the next 12 months, that we think people are going to see.
One more question, sir, for you.
There was a question before this. What kind of training would be required to inspire your person during event? Do you think you will have to train? See, Abhishek, I think most of this training has already happened in the last 3 months. I'm sure even in our day-to-day lives, we're all practicing a lot of precautions. So it's there now in our mindset. We ourselves are careful of how we are handling the environment, and we are protecting ourselves. So when we go outside the house, I think people are more careful than anybody else. So, but yes, there is definitely a certain process which has been prescribed by venues. There are many copies of those available. If you need it, I'll pass it on to Amar or Suraj, and they can share it with you then. there is already a very huge list of compliances that has been released by governments and other authorities, which have been followed by venues and hotels, etc., etc. As far as training is concerned, because there is already a list, obviously there are people who are being trained to handle that. Wedding from home is an interesting and an innovative concept, absolutely. Will it be our new normal? I don't think so. Then we've been doing weddings in homes of people since donkey's years. Even in homes, weddings used to happen of 200 people to 1,000 people, depending on the kind of home somebody had. So
Yes, yes, totally.
conceptually, weddings from home is a very old idea. And but yes, I think from what you're wanting to understand is in the given environment, a lot of people are wanting to kind of just stay within the premises of their homes and get married there. It is happening, and will it become the new normal? It will depend. It will depend on how soon we are able to get rid of this pandemic, which I think is going to be between 6 to 9 months. Thereafter, doubtful. Sushmita.
Big question, sir. Many of the planners will shrink away from the responsibility of having our long conversation with guests like, okay, what are our risks? What has your city had so far? Has your city had delegating this amount of work to wellness person is advisable if a planner himself is not able to do so, but still many of them not take this as a responsibility as they feel. I don't have time to do this. I am already behind schedule. I don't have.
Sushmita, if I've understood your question properly, you see, it's not one person's responsibility, to be honest. It is the host's responsibility, it is the wedding planner's responsibility, it is the venue's responsibility, and it's also the city's responsibility. And if all four can work like a warp and wet to be able to deliver this solution, where fundamentally the hygiene and safety and security is in question, it is only then that it will work. So, and we've been having conversations with people, and everyone is mindful of this. Or that's the only reason why so many weddings have been postponed to the later months, because a lot of clients or a lot of families where there are weddings likely to happen do not want to go through this whole process because it is fairly cumbersome and not very enjoyable at the same time.
One more question from her, that should there be a crisis team responsible for emergency
So
preparedness?
all the venues, as far as especially hotels, because they're the ones who kind of led this recovery, are all prepared. They're all prepared with any kind of a crisis management team, and it's all well appointed. So every hotel which is now allowing or taking bookings to be able to do 25, 50 people wedding celebrations or any other social event are equipped.
Got you. I think that suits a lot of people, because a lot of people are concerned about this thing, whether there will be what will happen if something goes wrong. I think that's very, very soothing. That's very soothing to.
So there was a question from, I'm getting forgetting the name. I think Nitin, he had shot the question twice and we couldn't answer that. Yeah. Airlines have already started with their occupation and are amongst the top business houses to be able to restart during Corona. Oh, the event industry will not start to bounce back before November. You see, a lot of promotional events have started to happen, which are ATL, BTL activities, and so those kinds of briefs have started coming to agencies. A lot of digital events are happening these days, but understanding your question in terms of the industry being able to bounce back, the process will begin October, November, and after that, 6 to 12 months for the industry to come back to where it was.
But you also have done a lot of these things like yacht race in Vishakhapatnam, Pushkar Mela in Rajasthan, boat race in Kerala, and so on and so forth. Okay. What do you think of these outdoor sports kind of things? Not like the indoor kind of weddings, but
Anything, especially public gatherings, and especially public gatherings in outdoor formats. The biggest problem with them is that the government becomes responsible. Now, if the government is becoming responsible, because a stadium is at the end of the day not owned or operated by a private individual, or Pushkar Mela, for example, it's not a fair which is owned by you, me, or the government. We could be custodians handling the affairs of that on a daily basis, but वो 100 साल पुराना है. तो इस तरीके की चीजों पे अभी कोई क्लैरिटी नहीं है. I don't see it coming back in the immediate future. I think 5 6 months, so there is no point even discussing because uh, there is no solution that is visible. Sporting events, however, will not probably be kept in abeyance for indefinite period. Uh, there are conversations that are happening, especially in the international world, because if you need to do a soccer match, you will use the stadium, you will use the pitch, you will use the field with the teams to play. But then on the television, how will you handle the empty stadium? So there is digital amorphication which is being now attempted to kind of do some drama on the empty seats, whether it is branding, whether it is creating some kind of engagement or showing people plotted. So there is a lot of work happening on all of those fronts. I'm sure come September, all of this will gradually resume on television.
I got
Sir,
you.
one question is coming from Sonali. Okay, that is very critical, and also it kind of I mean wearing mask is a mandate for now, but how will it change the makeup process for bride? This is actually critical
So
thing
I'm
because
so sorry, I will not be
wedding
able
is
to
some.
answer this
But
question
sir,
clearly.
sir, the wedding is basically for someone it is generally a kind of show off, okay, and it is interesting question. I want you to answer that, okay. And how will COVID-19 impact pre-wedding shoots? That this is also a very good question.
So
Okay.
a lot of such things are already happening. You see, because pre-wedding shoots were never public engagements of any kind. It's just two people. People are still going here and there. They are getting their shoots done, and I've seen a lot of pictures. A lot of pictures do keep cropping up on Instagram, etc. Of all of this. So I don't think so that this has been affected really. But yes, makeup and masks is a challenge. I'm unfortunately not uh, in a position to comment on that. Women and brides maybe.
Amardeep,
Uh,
one question to
you
you. Uh,
Sure.
Amardeep, just tell me one thing that
Suraj,
what
Suraj,
business?
I'll ask one more question to
Yeah.
this is on the related lines.
Okay. Sure.
So
Sure.
I've seen Summit doing a lot of these big weddings outside India. Particularly I kind of liked and yes, he keeps on posting these beautiful photographs from these palaces in Turkey and all that. What is kind of going to happen, and where do you see the activity resuming, especially when it comes to uh, outside India kind
The
of
destination
marriage,
wedding.
the
I was
destination
going to
wedding?
ask you one question
Yes,
about this
yes,
thing also.
yes.
So there are two things that need to be kept in mind. While I think that November, December onwards, the environment is going to be safe for us to travel to many places. So I think Middle East is going to be safe, Turkey is going to be safe, Europe is going to be safe. People will be a little hesitant to go towards Southeast Asia. Anything westwards, I think, is going to be considered to be safe. So those places can start to come back after November, December. There are two hindrances. Number one, by that time frame, those places become cold. That is number one. Number two, there is a lot of this sentiment these days that was spend your money in the country, and so that is another reason why a lot of people will abstain from exercising that option. So international destinations, I think June 2021.
Okay. No, I think that's kind of fair. And do you really think this whole Swadeshi movement is going to have an impact? And uh, especially
Sorry,
the
which book?
especially the whole Swadeshi movement, the Atmanirbhar movement, is it going to have an impact in terms of people restricting their spends, even when it comes to things like once in a lifetime things like marriage, because say Virat
I'll
and
tell you
Anushka,
something.
they went ahead and did a marriage in
I'll
Italy and all
say
of that.
some.
Yeah.
I will answer this. Suraj is using a pair of headphones just now talking to us. We are using computers. We are using certain technologies at the back end, being able to communicate. There are handsets, mobile phones that we have. इसमें से कुछ भी हिंदुस्तान का नहीं.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
all the medium that all the leaders of our country utilize to speak with us, to communicate with us, उसमें कोई भी हिंदुस्तानी नहीं. So कहने का तात्पर्य ये है जो whatever we will be able to get from India, which matches the standards of what we want to use, we will buy from India. There is no television in our rooms, in our houses, which is Indian. The brand could probably be Indian, but what is going inside is not made in this country. Most of it. Most of the cars that we are using today are all imported brands. Some of them are still using CKD. So, yes, it's a great movement, but it will not change the way of life.
The world is kind of too globalized for it to come to a single country kind of a mindset.
Correct.
I agree.
The sentiment is clear. The sentiment is not push what is made in India, which is great. We are all patriotic people. I would love to push whatever is made in this country, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it has to remain within the realms of practicality. I think that's the whole idea there.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask you I mean, the question is for to both of you actually, okay? Related to wedding, what are the new startups because of this pandemic and after post-pandemic, like, what are the new startup or new things that can be as use as an add-on to the wedding, and it can be an idea for the wedding from after pandemic situation?
Yeah, new ideas for weddings. Wedding is a wedding for me. And as I said, this is all temporary. So new ideas you've already seen. People have started to do small weddings in houses. People are doing small weddings in small open spaces or function rooms, etc. So there is nothing in terms of an idea that I would say is really going to come about. But there are certain things or changes. I think in the immediate term, probably buffets will not happen because people are a little conscious about food and the way they consume food. Sit down meals will become more prevalent for the next 5, 6, 7 months. Line लगाकर लोग खाना नहीं serve करना चाहेंगे because that then tends to become unhygienic because you're touching the same utensils, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying. So that is something which will probably change as a manner of consumption.
Archana has pointed out the same.
Oh, yeah. So I just spoke of this, Archana. So
Amardeep,
this is
please.
something which will probably change, and necessity is going to be driving whatever one is going to be seeing around, and the basics will become more important. But as I said, November onwards, things will start to look different.
I feel that there can be some interesting things which can happen. Some of which Samit bhai already pointed out. I have always been kind of this whole thing that a lot of virtual guests can join a wedding. Even if it is a 200 people wedding, which are 200 people physically joining, we typically do not take the scope of the wedding beyond 200. I've always wondered at the possibility that how immersive digital experience can be provided to say 1,000 people. I think that is one area which can pop up, and there can be some startups which can just work on that. You, if you, even if you are away and physically not present, how can you kind of get that? So I think there can be one idea there. The other idea which I feel can happen is the whole thing of, so there are a lot of people now who would like to kind of keep, so say a wedding day is like once in a lifetime. Why is it once in a lifetime? You can have these whole series of small events which can happen, and those were essentially not thought, those were essentially very celebrated in a very unorganized manner so far. I think there can be a lot of, and this can be a big, this can be, if there is potential, and this can probably be an opportunity for, Samit Bhai, because he runs these, multi-hundred crore weddings. I always keep on telling him this thing. So the biggest weddings in the country he has done. He laughs at me. He says that, Amardeep, how can somebody spend 200 crores? But I tell him the newspaper is reporting it. The whole world is reporting it. It's coming on TV. So please stop being modest there. So I think some of these people might like to relive that, and I see some kind of a subscription event related to wedding happening throughout their lives,
I'll tell you,
something like that.
I'm sorry,
Sure,
I'm
sure.
interjecting here. I am personally a non-believer as far as this is concerned. Your business is digital. Your business is the space out there. So, which is why you will think like that. Uh, if there is a day tomorrow where I am told that, boss, this is the only option that you will have, I'll probably quit the business. And I'm being serious. Uh, there are certain things you do for a certain purpose, and something which is very, very critical to the environment of a wedding event is this word which is called emotion. And that emotion in a wedding environment gets triggered in different functions in different manners. And trust me, you could consume an opening ceremony of a large event, you could consume a sporting match, you could consume a concert digitally. You will not consume a wedding digitally. You will do it, or you are doing it temporarily because you don't have a choice. But the wedding event per se, or those celebrations, are for people. Please remember the difference. You don't go to a wedding because you want to watch something. You go to a wedding or a social celebration to socially mingle with people. So there is a huge difference. I will consume something digitally when there is propensity or when there is need for consumption. ये शादियों में नहीं होगा, और
See,
मजबूरी में थोड़े टाइम होगा फिर बंद हो जाएगा.
I would not argue beyond this point on this, but I would say that there is also one more, and I'll take your word on that. Okay, but I will say that there is also all the more need now for another kind of opportunity, which is these wedding supermarkets. A lot of these, weddingsupermarkets.com, say for example, the whole idea is that a lot of stuff in weddings, it is very difficult to find. And I've seen Samit Bhai, Jai Bhai telling me stories that, they were going through antique shops in some city, and they found a particular piece of sofa, and how they remodeled it for a particular wedding, and how they got inspired for a particular design, and so on and so forth. So I feel that, because such luxuries may not be available for some time, this is the right kind of time to build these supply chains to these large weddings, and more and more of them being fulfilled through a digital kind of a venture. That I see it as a possibility.
So,
Uh,
so, so that is definitely a good idea, Amar. But a lot of this is already existing. There is a lot of this which is existing in different manners. So a lot of portals, like whether it's a weddings.in or a wedding vows, or there are many. many of those working in this domain, which came about to do different things, but eventually are now wedding supermarkets of a different nature altogether. So बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो उस डोमेन में ऑलरेडी काम कर रहे हैं. And also please remember that there are only X number of limited things that people will buy online. Again, weddings as a subject is a very touchy, is a very personal subject, because it is something which you always look forward to in your life. You want to feel it before you embrace it, and so वो फर्क है. And I'm saying this after because this is nothing new. Digital or e-commerce is something which is now probably two decades and more old. So people have gone through this process, and this is what the general responses are like.
Yeah,
आपकी कपड़े थोड़ी खरीदोगे, you buy a sports t-shirt or a short or probably a pair of shoes, etc. But if you have to buy your wedding suit, you won't buy it online. You want to make sure that the glaze of the fabric is correct. You have felt it. It doesn't. It fits your body well. So there's so many things which are important there.
we didn't touch today about your business on the balloon safari bit. How has it been impacted? What do you see? And you're a pioneer in that. You absolutely command a decade of more than a decade actually into that business.
So Amardeep, I was telling the audience that whatever he is doing and he has done, he is the only one there. Okay. So
नहीं,
that's the USP of Samit Garg. Okay.
We try and do whatever we do well. That's something that we've kind of promised to each other within the Factor enterprise. So, we were lucky that by the time COVID hit us, we were practically at the fag end of our season. So 15th of March, we shut operations. And we don't know very clearly yet in terms of how the next season is looking. I think situation will start to become a little more clear and transparent by July end is what we think. And there is definitely now effort that we're trying to make to sell a Skywalls experience to the domestic market, something that we've not done, unfortunately, in the last 10, 11 years. We've already, we've more or less only focused on the international market, and because that is where we get 80% of our passengers from. But looking at how the international tourism is going to be behaving in due course of time, we are trying to re-strategize, and a little early for me to be able to say anything. I think August would be a better time to talk about this, because that's when I will probably have some.
I feel that domestic segment now, and here I think the whole Atmanirbhar bit would come as soon as the impact of COVID starts going down. And this is what I've been telling, that this whole pent up energy in people, because they are just living in their houses, they would want to come out, and that would begin with domestic tourism. So I feel that it should kind of pick up fairly fast.
We are very, very bullish about all of this. Whichever I said, domestic travel will probably start to surface in August. And as I said, as far as Skywalls as an experience is concerned, we are going to be totally focusing and redirecting ourselves to the domestic market. But how is something that we're still working on.
Thank you so much, Samit and Amardeep. And I'm just going to ask you the last question of tonight, because we're just running out of time. Okay, Amardeep, if you just want to add any comment or any question to Samit, you can because I'll just answer.
No, you go ahead. I'll keep asking. So this is but this has been pretty interesting, because see. Coming it from Samit, who runs businesses across domains, which are very which are very diversified, from weddings to these boat races, and Pushkar Melas to balloon safari. It's a fairly, and if I remember correctly, you also have a large restaurant, Skywalls themed cafe on on the highway, or something like that. I've been very I should have gone there earlier. Now I think going there, but I can't go. So it's pretty fascinating. One thing I'm getting very clearly here is that all is not kind of dead, because somebody having experience of across the sectors, if he's very bullish about it, I think we just need to kind of keep gunning for the best, and of course, take digital ideas from us. That's one thing, which is there. But keep the business running. I think that's one bottom
Yeah.
line which I'm getting.
So Samit, my last question to you is that do you think that people are going to spend more after pandemic on marriages, or I think they are going to be conservative? And I'm talking about your type of wedding more. Okay.
Nobody is going to spend less and nobody is going to spend more. People will spend what they want to spend and what they need to spend. These are all questions which actually, originate from some quarters of the media sections where बस सवाल पूछना थोड़ा सा जरूरी हो जाता है. And it doesn't make any sense. The question, so why will anyone, so if you were to spend money, why will you ever in your life spend more money, you tell me? Nobody would ever spend more money. You will spend what really needed to be spent. So who will say that, nahi yaar, I spent more money? Nobody would say that. I don't know if I've been able to.
No, absolutely right, absolutely right. My view is, and just clarifying, I believe, on his point, that marriage in some ways is a celebration of dreams, and dreams don't have a price. You spend what you value your dreams for, and
So
that can be a small amount of money, more amount of money, but dreams are
Amardeep,
priceless.
Amardeep and Samit, considering all the factors and which are going on after that, because I consider all the factors. That's why I asked you. I know that this is some sort of dream and once in a lifetime of experience,
No,
but
I understand that, but trust me, it's not going to change. The the spending power of a consumer would still continue to be directly proportional to what that consumer is earning, or in the case of weddings, what one has been able to save. If you realize in the Wedonomics paper, there was a fact, and it is correct. There are expenses in life that you make or you do basis certain earnings that are still discounted for the future. But in weddings, in most of the cases, you already have that money parked. You know that this is what I have saved to spend for my child's wedding. वो वहां पे वो स्टॉक ट्रेड नहीं होता यार कि मैं फ्यूचर की कमाई भी आज खर्चा कर दूंगा, बिकॉज आई नो दैट आई हैव टू वेरी पे फॉर इट टुडे.
okay. आई थिंक द डिस्कशन ये चलता ही रहेगा डिस्कशन, क्योंकि टॉपिक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है और सर जिस बिजनेस से लिंक्ड है वो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. I would love to invite him.
No, I think you should
Sorry.
give little amount of credit to Samit bhai's way of telling stories also.
Yeah, absolutely. It's different. मैं इससे पहले सर का एक मैंने स्टोरी टेलिंग का ही शो था जिसमें सर एक लखानी का वेडिंग की कहानी सुना रहे थे. मैंने देखा उसको बिफोर दिस इंटरव्यू. It was amazing. I would love
No,
to.
Suraj,
Yeah.
I would actually take a bit of a this thing. Tell us about some memorable anecdotes from some marriage. I think the show cannot finish
Yeah,
before.
it will be our pleasure if he just stay for some more time. Okay.
कहानी सुनाओ.
Absolutely.
सर एक तो सुना दीजिए, क्योंकि आपका अंदाज ही अलग है. मैंने सुना आपको.
So, this is 2004, 2005, and I would still say that that's the largest wedding that has ever happened in this country. Nothing can be larger than that. Was the Sahara wedding in Lucknow, when both the children, both the brothers were getting married together. And those were the days when the Sahara Empire was the Sahara Empire, virtually running the governance of the state. And we were lucky, we were fortunate. काम बहुत बड़ा था, E Factor तब उतनी बड़ी enterprise नहीं थी. So there were 5 or 6 different companies that were employed, deployed to do and handle different aspects of the wedding in Lucknow. And we were doing about 55-60% of the work, and the other 4 or 5 companies were doing the other part of the work. So karte karte, so I was actually in literal terms, I was camping in Lucknow in the Sahara Shahar for about 6 weeks, if I remember right, 6 to 7 weeks, and before that, multiple trips, because it was huge. The Prime Minister to every other name in the economic society of India, to every celebrity from Bollywood, everything was there. So on a regular basis, वो चूंकि बहुत सारा मान इन्वॉल्व था उसमें सहाराश्री के लिए, तो नॉर्मली भी होता है परिवारों में, the families tend to take a lot of personal interest. And he was really totally involved. So as a result of which, we used to meet him practically every day. And as it so happened, आप 10 लोगों से रोज मिल रहे हो या 20 लोग आपके सामने आ रहे हैं रोज, उसमें से कोई 2-4 लोग कभी कभी तुक्के से थोड़ी सी ठीक ठाक बातें अगर कर लेते हैं तो आप उनको रजिस्टर कर लेते हो. तो ऐसा थोड़ा सा तुक्का हमारे साथ भी लग गया था. And over a period of time, I kind of became his favorite. So every morning I used to go with him on his golf cart, which he used to drive himself. हम पूरे सहारा शहर का सब चक्कर लगाते थे. एक सुबह 8 बजे का टाइम सुनिश्चित था. And I used to have my plan and a progress checklist of everything that was happening around different spaces. And वो करते करते, so he had basically made me the neta of that whole committee. That Samit, you are the boss. Now you have to kind of supervise all the work that even the other people are doing, and supervise, not standing on their head. But for me, you are the go-to man. I will be speaking to you on the progress, blah blah blah. Okay? Lucky, Samit was having a great time, enjoying all of that attention coming from a man of that stature for a wedding of that profile in those days. And now we are just about 2 weeks before the shadi, and the grand reception. The Prime Minister is coming. The world is going to be attending. So there were 4 lawns, and there are still 4 lawns in Sahara Shahar. वो 4 lawns हैं और उसके बीच में. So basically, what was decided was one will be the VVIP area, one will be the VIP area, and the other 2 together is going to be for everybody else. And Sahara Shri decided to get on board the London Philharmonic Orchestra to entertain the guests for the gala reception day. तो अब वो London Philharmonic Orchestra, 126 people. Now there are these 4 lawns spread out in a square pattern, as I just now explained to you. तो आप उनको कहाँ खड़ा करोगे? If you will take one particular block of the 4, then it is going to be too far from the other end. बीच में खड़ा करोगे तो आधे लोगों को बैक दिखेगी, कैसे होगा? So इस पे बड़ी जद्दोजहद चलती रही 2-4 दिन, and वो 2-4 दिन की जद्दोजहद के बाद now we were, and that was actually the impediment in the whole decision making process कि यार इनको बुलाएं या ना बुलाएं. So this came to in one of the discussions in the morning, 2 हफ्ते पहले के अब हम टाइम फ्रेम पे आ गए, अब ये बात सामने आई और मेरे मुंह से निकली ऐसा रिवॉल्विंग स्टेज बना देते हैं. And the moment I said this, Sahara Shri looked at me and he said, "Are you sure? We're talking 127, 128 people." I said, now when he said, "Are you sure?" My heart kind of skipped a beat. Then मैंने कहा मुझे लग रहा है मैंने कुछ गलत तो नहीं बोल दिया. So I said, "Sir, I'll come back to you by the evening." And we've never done anything like that in our life. We've seen revolving stages in auto expos, etc., etc., but chotu stages to move cars of 20-30 feet and no weight. So I made a few phone calls to some technical people to help from a few friends. Dad was very active in business in those days. Dad was obviously also there, and as a family we belonged to Lucknow. So Jay Bhai, Dad, everyone was kind of furious. Jay Bhai was not furious. Dad was furious. कि कुछ भी बोल दे तो क्या बोल के आ गए मतलब how will we do it so मेरे तो खूब डैड ने थैंक यू सॉरी की उस दिन ठीक है हम लगे रहे was continuing to kind of make the effort to speak to people here and there and I had a deadline so there was a watchkeeper on that particular day because 6 o'clock I had to present myself again to the boardroom of Saharashri. I had my answers by about 4:45 if I remember and I was clear that yes we are going to do this so 15 minutes before time उनके ऑफिस से फोन आया उनकी बग्गी आई मुझे लेने के लिए मैं बग्गी में बैठ के साहब के सामने प्रकट हो गया साहब ने पूछा और समित बताओ मैंने कहा सर कंसिडर इट डन बट आई हैव टू टेक अ प्रॉमिस मतलब आई वांट वन कमिटमेंट फ्रॉम यू ही सेड व्हाट I said, the day we press the button to run the stage for the first time, I want you to be with us to open a bottle of champagne. And the reason I asked him to do this was कि मुझे उनकी टीम में किसी ने बताया था कि शैंपेन नहीं खोलते किसी के साथ खड़े हो तो मैंने उस दिन उनसे वो प्रॉमिस किया and we started work day and night 5 दिन निकल गए so something you must remember to get 128 people on stage there was a proper geometry that was done we called for a stage plan from the band in the UK we needed a stage of 80 feet diameter 80 feet diameter to be able to accommodate the band and the instruments etc so काम शुरू हो गया 5-7 दिन निकल गए 2-3 दिन खूब बारिश and now this is not a temporary structure that you're talking of so this is cement steel concrete so all work kind of stopped and everybody is literally shitting bricks क्या होगा but हौसले बुलंद थे और ऊपर वाले ने बहुत साथ दिया I think we were blessed we were a fantastic rock solid team we still are a fantastic rock solid team by God's grace and in 12 days we created the largest revolving stage that exists in this country. It still exists.
Beautiful.
Harashi came, he popped the champagne bottle, he pressed the green button to get that machine come to life. And so these are some episodes of our lives which we just cannot forget.
सुपर मैं तो आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा क्योंकि मुझे बड़ी पसंद आई वो कहानी लखानी साहब की और बड़ी टची भी है तो अगर आप उसको भी एक बार 5 मिनट में सुना देना
फिर कभी सूरज I am little slightly I'm sorry I'm pressed on time.
no sir thank you
But
so
इसी बारे कभी और
बिल्कुल सर इतनी सारी चीजें आपके साथ बात करने के लिए और इतने किस्से हैं कि दोबारा मैं आपको एक बार जरूर बुलाना चाहूंगा थैंक यू सो मच समित सर it's our pleasure to entertain
thank you
you
so very much and thank you so very much
thank you so much and stay tuned
patient enough to listen to all of this thank you so very much
thank you so much stay tuned to Sunday Shorts for the next episode thank you bye guys
Thank you.
Bye.